So hi everyone, it's David on your screen, and in today's video I'm going to be explaining how cryptocurrency work and also the evolution of cryptocurrency. Over time we have seen a lot of people diving into the crypto space without really understanding how it actually works. So if you're that person, then this video is for you. Kindly stick to the end of this video so you won't miss anything. And if this is your first time seeing my content, kindly hit the subscription button and turn on your notification so you won't miss any of my videos. So guys, let's dive into it.
Cryptocurrency. I bet you've heard that word 1,000 times, right? It's everywhere, and it's usually surrounded by a ton of confusion and super technical jargon. Well, for the next few minutes, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're going to break down exactly what it is, why it even matters, and how it all works in simple, easy to understand pieces. So let's start with a really simple idea. What if you could send money to anyone, anywhere in the world, just as easily as you send an email? Seriously. No waiting for a bank to open. No crazy high fees from some middleman, just click and it's sent. That, right there, is the huge revolutionary promise that's at the very heart of cryptocurrency. So what is this stuff really? At its core, cryptocurrency is just digital money. You can't hold a crypto coin in your hand. It only exists online. But here's the kicker, its most important feature. It lets us send that value directly from one person to another, peer-to-peer. It completely cuts out the need for a bank or any other financial company to be in the middle of our business. But to really get why this is such a big deal, we've got to take a quick step back and look at the history of money itself. Think about how money has changed over time. We started out just trading stuff directly, bartering. Then governments came along and created coins and paper money. And more recently, we got digital banking. Now, each of those steps was more convenient for sure, but that last one created a new kind of problem. All our money just became numbers on a screen that banks control. We lost that direct connection. So crypto asks a simple question. What's the next logical step? Well, maybe it's taking that peer-to-peer idea from bartering and bringing it into our digital world. And that's really it. That's the whole reason this thing was invented, to get rid of that middleman. The entire system was designed from the ground up to let people exchange value directly, putting the control back where it belongs, in our own hands. Okay, that all sounds great, right? But wait a minute. How can you possibly trust a system with no one in charge, no bank to make sure everything is legit? The answer is in the absolutely brilliant technology that makes it all possible, the blockchain. The easiest way to picture a blockchain is to think of it like a digital record book or a ledger. But here's the twist. Instead of one person or one company holding that book, imagine identical copies are shared across thousands of computers all over the world. Every single transaction gets its own entry in this book, and it's there for everyone to see forever. So how does your transaction actually get into this super secure book? Well, first, your request gets blasted out to this huge global network of computers. These computers, called nodes, all work together to check and make sure your transaction is valid. Once they agree, your transaction gets bundled together with a bunch of others into a new block. And then, and this is the cool part, that block is sealed shut and permanently chained to the block before. And what you get from this setup are three amazing properties. First, it's immutable. Because all the blocks are cryptographically linked together, you can't go back and change anything, ever. Second, it's transparent. Anyone can look at the ledger and verify the transactions for themselves. And most importantly, it's decentralized. No single person, company, or government is in charge. This is how you get trust without needing a trustee. A really simple way to wrap your head around this is with this analogy. If a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is the app you use to send money, then the blockchain is the secure, unhackable operating system that's running everything in the background. Okay, deep breath. We've covered the what and the how. But that brings up some really practical questions, right? Like, where does this stuff even get its value from? What are the biggest myths flying around? And what are the real, honest-to-goodness risks? Time for a reality check. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why is a bunch of computer code worth anything at all? Well, think about something like gold. It has value mostly because we all agree it does. Crypto's kind of similar. Its value comes from a mix of things. Social agreement, the rock-solid trust in the blockchain security, its actual usefulness for sending money anywhere, fast, and for some, scarcity. Just like there's only so much gold in the world, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Period. All right, let's tackle a huge myth you hear all the time, that crypto is totally anonymous and just for criminals. The truth is a little more complicated. Most blockchains are actually pseudo-anonymous. See, your name isn't attached to your transactions, but your public address, which is like your crypto bank account number, is visible to the whole world. And if anyone ever links that address to your real-world identity, your entire financial history on that chain is an open book. And what about that other one? Crypto has no real-world use, it's just for gambling. Well, not exactly. It's already being used to send money across borders way cheaper than the old way. We're seeing it used to prove you own digital things, like art or collectibles, using something called an NFT. And it's even the foundation of a whole new financial system being built, called DeFi, or decentralized finance. Now, we have to talk about the risks, and this is super important. The prices can be incredibly volatile. We're talking massive swings up and down in a single day. You can't just walk into any store and pay with it yet. Some of these systems use a ton of energy, and that's a real environmental concern. And maybe biggest of all, governments around the world are still trying to figure out what the rules should be. This is not a risk-free game. So, after all that, the good, the bad, the complicated, if you're still curious and you want to explore this world for yourself, how do you do it safely and responsibly? Let's walk through some practical first steps. First things first, and I mean this, learn. Understand the absolute basics before you even think about putting a penny in. When you feel ready, you can set up a digital wallet. Then use a big, reputable exchange to buy a very small amount. And I mean an amount you'd be totally okay with losing completely. Then, for the best security, move that crypto off the exchange and into your own personal wallet. And just practice. Send tiny bits back and forth to a friend until it all makes sense. Okay, listen up, because if you only remember one thing, let it be this. Your private key is not just a password. It's the literal key to your digital vault. If anyone else gets it, they get everything. There is no forgot my password button. There is no customer service line to call. So you should never, ever share it with anyone for any reason. Guard it with your life. And that brings us to a really important mindset shift. Try to forget all the crazy stories about people getting rich overnight. Real success in this space isn't just about making money. It's about understanding the technology. Focus on mastering the system, learning how it works, and seeing both its incredible potential and its very real flaws. That knowledge, that's the real win. So there you have it. We've gone from what is this stuff to understanding the core ideas behind it, the what, the why, and the how. You've now got the fundamental building blocks of this entire new technology, which leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. What's next for digital money?